Hello, everybody, and welcome into Blue Jays Today, where you boys always have something to say about the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm your host, Nicholas Playlock.
And I'm your host, Adam Peddle, and today, guys, we got some very exciting Blue Jays updates that you're gonna want to hear about. Max Scherzer just had his rehab start down in AAA Buffalo, and my goodness, was he ever dominant. He could be on his way back to the Blue Jays rotation as soon as next week, and we got some other updates as well we're gonna get into. But before we do, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Blue Jays Today to stay up to date with all the latest Blue Jays news and updates. Now, this is something we've been screaming at for probably the last month. When you had Bowden Francis in the rotation, and then that weird bullpen day where Eric Lowour wasn't exactly a starter, but he was kind of splitting time down there with a bunch of other bullpen arms, it was like, wow, we need somebody else in here because Bowden Francis ain't cutting it. But now that he's on the IL and you're getting some good news from Max Scherzer, things are looking up for the Blue Jays.
100%, man, and I think that it is now, like, definitely locked in. Eric Lowour is, in fact, a guy for the Toronto Blue Jays. Like, he is in the rotation until proven otherwise. Dude's got a 2.29 ERA, a whip under 1. This is over 35.1 innings, and at this point, 4 games started. He's played in 10 games for the Jays, and a lot of those games that he played in, he effectively was kind of the guy in those games. There's just happened to be an opener in front of him or something along those lines. This is going to be a rotational piece for Toronto moving forward. We have not had a lefty in the rotation for a while. Eric Lowour, congratulations, you are the guy. So that right there is awesome. Number 2, we do need to see Max Scherzer coming back, and the way that he was pitching yesterday is very encouraging. Keegan Matheson tweeted this out. Max Scherzer, 4.1 innings, 0 earned runs, gave up 1 hit, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. Fastball was at 92.5 miles per hour, and most importantly, he was up to 75 pitches, which is honestly phenomenal because his whole thing was, can we get to 50 and then what happens after 50?
Yeah, it's all about the recovery, right? And this was yesterday, so we might even hear some news today or tomorrow about how he's feeling because, yeah, he can pitch as much as he wants. It's all about the after effect of this, and the Blue Jays need him to be healthy. They were very patient with him literally all season long. It's been more than 2 months since his injury, so hopefully he can come back very soon. And the way things are looking is that he will come back very soon. Apparently, according to John Schneider, if everything lines up and everything's good, he should be back in the rotation next Tuesday in Cleveland, which is a very good sign because effectively that plugs up all the holes for the Toronto Blue Jays. Obviously, they got the big 3 in Barrios, Bassett, Gausman. Now that Eric Lauer's an everyday guy, he's going to give you every 5th game kind of guy. Now you got to slot in Max Scherzer. Now there is just one more day they got to kind of band-aid until then, which is Bowden Francis' start this coming Friday against the White Sox. I guess the one positive is that it is against the White Sox, so you can maybe do something there with Spencer Turnbull.
That's what it'll be. It'll be a Turnbull. It'll be a bullpen day, and then you're kind of just hoping that, okay, that will be the last bullpen day that the Jays need to utilize for a while, right? So ultimately, what's most exciting about this to me is the fact that we are going to have 5 starters again, and we haven't really had 5 starters since basically the beginning of the season because Max Scherzer left after 3 innings, and then it's been this kind of like Band-Aid solution the whole time. The one thing I will say, though, as exciting as this is, I do still think that they need to go out and they need to acquire a starter at the deadline. From what we've been hearing, Ross Atkins feels the same way. I made a video yesterday talking about how he feels that he wants to seriously prioritize going out and getting a starter at the deadline. It's great that Max Scherzer's coming back. Eric Lauer's awesome. However, getting a little bit more insurance in there is obviously, I still think, very important.
Yeah, like if you have one more injury to that rotation, then who do you bring up? You bring back Bowden Francis? I don't really want to go down that rabbit hole again and bring him off his IL. I think it's a phantom IL to go get fixed. But yeah, after that, we really don't have anybody. And we were lucky to even get our Eric Lowour in the first place, right?
Yeah.
So go out there and go get a guy. And like you said, you made a video on it. There's a ton of guys out there. There was, you got Freddy Peralta is one of the guys that you didn't bring up.
Yes.
That I wanted to talk about just a little bit. Freddy Peralta, I mean, there's been some articles out there circling like, oh, they could be in on the Milwaukee Brewers guy. That all depends if the Milwaukee Brewers are selling and it's someone's opinion. Like, sure, the Blue Jays could be on that, but if you can go out and make a move like that would be just phenomenal.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I do believe that, honestly, the way that Scherzer pitches in the next few weeks is going to be really telling as to, like, how much of a need is this. If Max Scherzer comes out and Max Scherzer is pitching to the tune of a 3.5 ERA and giving you 5 to 6 innings every start, and the thumb looks good, and it doesn't seem to be, like, any risk of re-injuring anything, then honestly, like, yeah, the need to go out and acquire an ace like Freddy Peralta, that kind of diminishes a little bit. If, of course, he comes out, isn't looking good, and this is something that could happen, right? Like, we're assuming that he's going to come out here, be that fifth guy for us. He could be bad, right? There is a real possibility that he might just not be good, and if so, clearly then the need to go out and get a higher leverage dude like a Peralta. I brought up Andrew Heaney yesterday. Feels like Heaney would be a great option for the Jays. That need will obviously be further prioritized.
Yeah, like, even if you get Andrew Heaney and Max Scherzer is great and nobody's hurt and you got 5 guys in the rotation, well, now you can add a 6-man, which this veteran rotation really needs. I mean, we've heard it time and time again from John Schneider. Oh, he really prioritizes the rest days. Well, when it gets down to the dog days of summer and you're going for a late playoff push, you go add Andrew Heaney or anybody to that rotation to complement those guys. That's going to be awesome. And then even if you do get an injury, well, maybe down the line, you got Alek Manoah coming back up. So having that extra guy of insurance is absolutely crucial. And I think the Blue Jays, they're going to make sure of it as coming trade deadline.
Yeah, 100%, man. We've actually been blessed to have the rotation with Bassett, Gausman, and Barrios being effectively fully healthy for the amount of time that they have. Like, those guys have been healthy for like 3 years straight now. And that's something that not a lot of other teams get to have. Let's finish this off with a little bit of exciting news.
Hey guys, time for a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video. Hit your picks and knock it out of the park with Betway. Scan the QR code down below or click the link in the description to join the action. Available in Ontario only, must be 19 years older to participate. And guys, please bet responsibly. Now, back to the content.
With the standings, folks, taking a look over here at the standings. The Toronto Blue Jays are third in the American League East, which, okay, yeah, we're third, whatever. But most importantly, they're only 2 games back from the New York Yankees at the top. And
I'll say
that is in spitting distance.
They're tied for second.
That's true. You know, you're right. They are tied for second with the Tampa Bay Rays.
But I guess technically third because the Rays have the number against us. They've beaten us 5-1 in the season series. So yeah, we can't be tied with the Tampa Bay Rays if it's for a playoff spot because we will inevitably lose unless we go on and spank them. But this is exciting stuff. The whole entire season, I was just comfortable chasing for a wild card. Even that felt like a pipe dream for the longest point of this year. But now we're literally right there. The Yankees, I believe, over the last like 19 games, they've only won like 6 or 7 of them.
Yeah, so they've been 6-game losing streak right there too.
Literally, right? So like Aaron Judge has gone ice cold. You know, ice cold being 1 week of bad.
Right.
And that's all it takes for the Yankees to go down a rabbit hole and suck. So the Blue Jays are right there. You got to finish up your business here with Arizona. Can you get this series sweep like we've been talking about and like really take care of your own business, make Arizona sell, you know, excel in the standings, and then handle the White Sox this weekend? If you can do that, I mean, we're not talking about wild card anymore. We're talking about AL East winners. That would be exciting.
Yeah, look, we've been, you know, in the time that we've done this podcast, the Toronto Blue Jays have never had a playoff win. They've been to the wild card 3 times since we've been doing this, right? Getting out of the wild card, like, let's just say for, you know, and again, I haven't even been able to live in this reality, but if you win your division, you might not have to play in a wild card at all, which then gives you the luxury of having a longer series. So that whole element of like, oh, you know, we got unlucky, you know, it's you don't get unlucky in a 5-game series, right? Like that you can see the entirety of the baseball team here on both sides of it. Our pitchers get to match up. Maybe a guy even gets to go twice. So like that right there is the benefit of being able to win your division and have that luxury of not getting into that, you know, 3-game series with the squad and, oh, 1 unlucky bounce, season's over, you're done. That doesn't happen in a divisional series.
No, and imagine Max Scherzer getting the opportunity to maybe go twice. Wouldn't that be something special? If he is pitching great, that would be phenomenal. Guys, let us know your thoughts in the comments down below about the recent updates from the Toronto Blue Jays. What do you think Max Scherzer is going to do with the Jays? I know there's a lot of people out there that think his arm's probably just going to fall off, but let us know your thoughts in the comments down below.
Yeah, please make sure to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button. $4 bump, become a YouTube member. Shouldn't take you to all of our current YouTube members. You guys are amazing.
Guys, thank you so much for watching.
And as always,
go Jays, go!